Do y'all believe that spirits can come back in different forms of a person that you've lost? The reason why I say that is because when I watched this video, it kind of reminded me of a time when, sometime last year, when we went to visit my dad. You see, my mom passed away in 2019, and my mom and dad were together for 61 years. They were married for 61 years. So he lost my mom. We lost my mom in 2019. So my wife and I decided to go check on him and see how he's doing. You know, he lives in several states away from us. So we decided to go check on him, visit him and see how he's doing. So when before we went to the house, we went and bought some gifts for him, got a card with money in it and stuff like that. And when we arrived, we said, Dad, we're just gonna sit out here. It's a nice day, blah blah blah. He was cool with that. He was just excited about his gifts, and oh man, he was just like, wow, I really appreciate this. Y'all didn't have to do this. No, Dad, we wanted to do it. And we're talking now. I'm having a good time, just laughing and stuff like that. And we started talking about old times. You know, we started joking about my mom and how she was and this, that, and the other. And my wife, she was, mentioning things about my mom as well. And all of a sudden, now we're sitting there for a while. This didn't happen immediately. But all of a sudden, this bird from out of nowhere just flew and landed on top of my car. Now, mind you, my back of my chair was at the front end of my car. So I'm right there next to my car. This bird, not only he came in and flew and landed on the roof of my car, but not only did he land on the roof of my car, it landed on the edge of the roof of my car, like right near the front windshield. The bird looked at us and started singing this beautiful, pretty song. Beautiful song. I mean, that was the most beautiful. I never heard a bird tweet like that. It was just so beautiful. And my wife looked up and she said, "That's your mom." I'm like, "What?" She said, people come back to check on you in spirit form, and you just don't know. And I looked at that bird, and the bird wasn't afraid. That's the crazy part. So we were talking, and we all just stopped talking and looked at each other. Then we all just looked at the bird, and the bird stayed there for, I would say, to be honest, about a good 3 minutes. That's a long time, 240 seconds. But we were just mesmerized. And when my wife said that, I looked at her, and I looked at and I'm like, I never heard this before, but there's got to be something to this bird. And the bird was just actually staring at us and just singing away. And it was not afraid. It didn't look to the right. It didn't look to the left. You know how sometimes birds, when they land on something, their heads are turning each this way, that way. No, not this bird. It was a small bird, not tiny bird, but it wasn't no big bird. And it just stared at us. And it was just looking at us and just singing. And then after 3 minutes, it flew off, but it didn't fly anywhere. It flew up, and there's like the inside of the roof of the carport, there's like these beams. So it flew up and flew to one of the beams at the corner of the carport underneath the roof, where we could still see it clearly. And it just flew up there and it stared at us and kept on singing, continued singing. That was the strangest thing that I've ever experienced, as far as birds are concerned, or any type of animal. And I had this feeling of peace that came over me, because I went, not to get too personal, I went through a lot when my mom passed away, and so did my siblings. And she was like the glue to the family. And but I don't know. I tend to believe what my wife said. You know, I'm start after I witnessed that. You know, I was a firm believer because why would that bird from? I mean, this is a wild bird, and why would that bird be not afraid to fly up and land on top of my car and start singing to my dad, myself, and my wife? It was the craziest thing. So, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that when a loved one is passed, they come back in the spirit form to comfort you? Because that's what this bird reminds me of in this video.